You lose Caleb Wilson from your tight end group, but you still got plenty of guys there. So what are you seeing from the guys that you have?
We've seen progress. Obviously, we got a couple. Matt Lynch has moved there, but I think with Devin Asiasi, Jordan Wilson, David Preby, and Greg Dulcich, we've had a good nucleus. And then we've got Mike Martinez coming in. So we're excited about where we are. Obviously, Caleb replicating his production. He was the #1 most productive tight end in the country. So there's a lot of catches to be had. So if you look at it from a positive standpoint, those guys are really excited about the opportunity because they know how much we throw the ball to the tight end. So they've done a really good job so far in the first half of spring ball, and we just need to continue to build upon that. So.
Skill set wise, what does a guy like Devin Asiasi give you?
He's actually a little bit bigger than Caleb was. He's up to almost 270 pounds now. So he's a little bit more stout on the line of scrimmage. Obviously, I don't think he stretches the field like Caleb stretches the field. There's pluses and minuses with size and not size. So, but he's got the full skill set to do everything for us. He's a really good receiver in the pass game. It was a really integral part of it last year for us. Played really well, especially down the stretch for us, and got a lot of valuable experience last year. So hopefully he just continues to grow off of that.
Josiah Norwood switches to receiver. Mm-hmm. Is that a permanent?
Yeah, he asked if he could move to receiver, so we'll try and see him out there. So.
Does he have any history playing receiver in high school?
Not that I know of. He was a quarterback in high school.
How does he look so far?
He looks okay. I mean, I think it was 1 day of practice, so it's tough to make a full evaluation. But he's athletic and fast, so we'll see what he looks like out there.
You've had a couple guys kind of volunteer for a position change. What does that say about kind of the selflessness of the team?
Yeah, I just think they want to contribute. It's very simple. I'm standing at 6 in this line, and there's only one guy over there. Maybe I want to go over there because they love playing football and they want to play. So if I'm one of those guys, we kind of think about it. Sometimes they do it before the coaching staff thinks about it, but they, it's a couple of those situations. The players thought about it before we thought about it, so it gives them an opportunity to see if they can get on the field, and that's what everybody wants to do. They want to play, so what's my opportunity to play and get on the field? And I think when they look at some of the other guys, the Ethan Fernayes and kids like that have contributed, you're saying, oh, maybe I can get a shot and do that. But it's about being passionate and just wanting to play football. And we get a bunch of guys that are like that right now. They're passionate and they want to play ball.
What have you thought of how Chase Griffin has done since he's come back from his wrist injury?
It's been a progress. So we knew since the beginning of camp here that we were going to bring him along, and I think he's followed the schedule really well. So his throwing will increase as we keep going here. He's starting to get involved in some 7-on-7 and 11-on-11 here, and he's doing a really nice job.
Without Josiah, you only have 3 quarterbacks left. Are you comfortable with that number? It seems like a pretty small group.
It's spring ball, so we'll have 5 when we come back to camp in the fall, but that's no different. I think we only had 3 last spring. We had Devin and Austin and Lynchy, so it's no different than most teams are at this number when you're in the spring.
What seems to be picking up, at least from up at Lottie, he looked pretty good last week.
Who's that?
Lynch?
Yeah, Matt's really picked up the position very quickly. He's really smart, really, he's a heck of a student, and he's a real student of football, so his transition from quarterback to tight end it's almost seamless. Like, on day one he didn't look like a fish out of water. He looked like he really fit in there, so, as we continue to put more reps in practice and get more film for him to coach him off of. But we're really happy with where he is right now.
What have you thought about Odua's progress so far? I know he started playing a lot more at the end of last year.
Yeah, he's doing, again, like all those guys, they're all just progressing, and we're kind of obsessed with improvement on a daily basis. So is he better in practice 9 than he was in practice 8? And that's what we're looking for, and Odua has been doing that the whole time. So.
You mentioned some of those walk-ons who are contributing, like Ethan Fernaya and Greg Dulcich. What do you look for in walk-ons to kind of join?
We look at guys who can play. Like, that's what will they have a shot? Because to me, it's not fair if you take a kid as a walk-on that's never he doesn't fit the prototype. Like, you're not gonna take a 5'7" quarterback that runs 5.0. Like that kid's not gonna play here. He's not gonna play in the Power 5. But Greg Dulcich was a kid that played actually for a UCLA alum up at St. Francis, and when you look at him, he's 6'3", he's 215 pounds, he runs under 4'6", and he's a really good student. Like that, as he continues to grow, can he put himself in a position to play? And Greg has done that. Greg played for us last year as a true freshman walk-on. But we're always looking for kids that have an opportunity to play here. We're not looking for guys to round out our roster or to be Scout players for us. But if we're recruiting you as a walk-on, we're recruiting you as you have a legitimate shot of playing for us. You know, in most cases down the road, if they have a legitimate shot of playing for you as a freshman, then you should offer them a scholarship. But some of those kids are developmental kids. Sometimes it's a position switch. Sometimes it's a, you know, he's a D lineman, but you projected him maybe as an O lineman at the college level, and he's got to gain 25, 30 pounds. So 2 years from now, what's the kid going to look like? And you try to project them out, but, you know, you're kind of looking for those sneaky good kids that maybe everybody else has kind of passed on. But it'll be the backbone. It was a backbone when we were at Oregon, and it'll be a backbone of what we do here is getting those kids that can come on and play. And there's been a great tradition of walk-ons at the school. You know, Jerry's dad, Rick, was a walk-on and was the MVP of the Rose Bowl, so you don't have to look any farther than that. So we'll continue, and I think we have a really good group coming in this year, and we're excited about those guys.
You got a few scholarships open. Do you anticipate kind of offering some of those walk-ons? Did you have some of those open
We'll
scholarships?
see how it all shapes up. You know, I think it's good, especially with all the transfers and things that go on at the end of spring ball, to make sure that you have, you know, that's always been our plan, to have some available, because you never know what's out there. You don't want to say, it's like being right at the cap in the NFL, and then all of a sudden a free agent comes available and you can't sign him because you don't have any money. It's the same thing here in college. A kid comes open and you're at max scholarships. Well, you can't take anybody because you're at max scholarships. So, you know, you always keep your eyes open and keep your opportunities out there. So.
Thanks, Coach.